What is up, guys? If you're watching this, it means officially this sucker is launched to market. It is officially dropped, and this is the refillable carbon filter from AC Infinity. And I just got finished filming a raw, uncut, no BS podcast with Dan from Hemp in a Pot. The dude has been testing this for a few months already. And not only that, but he was the guy that 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, he was trying to refill carbon filters himself and actually has done it. So I thought he was a really interesting person to talk to about a product that just hit the market, if there's any differences, what the details are, how do we fill it up, the whole 9 yards. Not only that, we talk about this that also just launched to market, and that is the Controller 69 Plus. The little differences, we don't have it set up here. It literally just showed up today, but we talk a little bit about the differences on this 8-port Controller 69. Is there anything else? No, I think that's it. Let's jump into the podcast. Dan, what is up, brother? Thank you so much for coming out again, dude, and giving us a behind-the-scenes looks at this amazing new product. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Dude, I want to, if you don't mind, let's dive right into it, because I got this sucker right beside me. It literally just showed up today. I haven't opened it. I have a few questions for you, so I kind of wanted to open it, get a first-hand look as being someone who hasn't seen it, and I know you've been actually testing it for a while, and maybe even played a part in the development of the product. So let's start with that. What was your role in the launch of this product and the testing of it?
So this was something that I tried to do, I think, 3 years ago, where it doesn't make sense to throw away a full carbon filter every single time you use up the activated carbon. So I used a screwdriver, got rid of the rivets. It's a lot of work, but you can remove the sort of the top cap. And then inside you can pour out the activated carbon. It's held on by some type of like nylon, like a stocking nylon. But then if you can carefully pour it out, you can fill it back again, put the cap on. It just doesn't make any sense. No way. It's something I mentioned to AC Infinity a while back. And then I just haven't heard anything about it till about 4 months ago. They handed me this. And they said, hey, you want to try it? And it's really... It doesn't make sense why something like this isn't on the market. You look at other markets that uses carbon filters. I know I had a small fish tank before, and then for that, you're using the same activated carbon, but it's just used to clean the water. And for that, you just have packets of activated carbon that you fill, and then you throw that away. You don't throw away the whole fish tank. You don't throw away the whole filter system. Right. So this just makes perfect sense.
I can't believe you actually were one of those guys that you actually tried to refill it yourself, because I thought of it, but I never got to the point where I would actually grab a screwdriver and see what's in there. What was that experience like when you opened it, bro?
No, I actually have a video on it that I released like 2-3 years ago, documenting the experience and showing people how to do it themselves. There's it depends on the carbon filter. Some of them you just can't remove the caps of. Some of them, the newer ones, you can, because they're made so you can switch the top and bottom caps. And then you do that because it extends the life of the carbon filter, since it doesn't suck in air evenly throughout the whole thing. So people want to unscrew the top cap, unscrew the bottom cap, swap them around. The problem is that there's this sort of plastic layer that's riveted into the walls of the carbon filter that you have to use a drill bit to sort of destroy the rivet to remove that. And then from there, you can pour it out. And if you tear the sort of that nylon stocking material, then you're shit out of luck, because then the activated carbon will just fall through sort of the holes of the carbon filter. It's not easy, but it's doable, and it's still infinitely cheaper to do that, and you don't have to throw away the metal shell. So I've been doing that for a while, for the past 2 years. That's just what I do. Every 6 months, I sort of unscrew it and try and fidget around with it. But it's a pain in the ass to do.
Right? And at this point, everyone tuned in, you guys know what we're talking about. It's the new refillable carbon filters here from AC Infinity. This is literally my first look at it here, Dan. I've just got, this is the 4-inch. We've just unboxed it, and at a first look, it's very similar, or if not the exact same from the other design on the other filters. Or
Yeah,
is
it looks exactly the same. I mean, from the outside, you can't tell that it's a refillable carbon filter. It's when you get your hands on it, and then when you play around with it, that's when you realize, oh, you can actually. It's so easy to do. The thing is, I mean, if you take it out of the bag and then fiddle around with it, you'll figure it out right away.
Wow, that's amazing. And so I like that. I was expecting maybe right away there was going to be some type of difference or some type of latch, but I like that right away. It's the same design. I'm not going to fully take it out of the bag, I don't think, right here, because I feel like I'll get a little bit charcoaly right now on that part. But the biggest difference, this will also come with the refill pack as well then?
Yes. So the refillable carbon, it comes completely filled, so you can use it right away. And it's the same exact shape, same exact size, so you can replace it with your current carbon filter without any issues. That's the refill bag. So it's a 4-pound refill bag. And in the manual, there's a manual in the box where it states that the refill bag will refill it once. But I almost got 2 full refills out of it.
No doubt, yeah. Like I feel like even size and weight on this, for especially the 4-inch in this case. Okay, yeah, and it shows you here on the back, 4 pounds technically 1 refill, like you're saying, the 8-pound 2 refills. And okay, so they're gonna have different sizes and everything on the refills. And essentially out of this box right now, this is like having 2 carbon filters if I was using the old models. Essentially we got a refill now. I can use this twice from one order.
Yes. And I only know the pricing for the one you're holding right now. It's going to be released tomorrow. So I'll know the pricing for the 6-inch, but I specifically asked for the pricing for the 4-inch since I was reviewing it and the review embargo, it's lifted tomorrow. So this unit is $80. What you have in the box right now, which is essentially the same as 2 carbon filters, but the carbon filters themselves, if you just buy standard ones, are $50 each. So just by it, as long as you plan on using 2 carbon filters, you're already saving 20%. And then from there, I don't know how much refill bags are, but they're supposed to be significantly cheaper than obviously the whole unit, which makes it's so much cheaper per grow now. I have like 6 tent setups, and then I only have 3 on me. I want to try and replace the other 3 once it comes out.
Yep.
And at which point it would save so much money and just so much hassle of having to try and fiddle around with the carbon filters and try to refill those.
That's what I've seen. And like even I guess like I'm looking at the chart right now as well as far as the savings. And that's like also something I guess kind of almost compounding if you're buying these and replacing these every, once, what is it, every 6 months, or how long is the life on the traditional carbon filter?
I mean, it depends. So I actually tried to extend it by running it only in the flowering stage. So I can get maybe 6 months to 12 months. If you run it 24/7 in a humid environment, probably 2 to 3 months. And it depends on your fan speed as well. So, but I mean, the lowest I had in very humid environments was about 2 to 3 months. Generally speaking, 3 to 6. If you only use it in the flowering stage or late veg, then yeah, you can probably get about 12 months out of it.
Got you. And so the same thing now with this. The design's the same. The amount of time is the same. The only thing we're changing now is instead of ordering a whole new carbon filter, we're just going to be able to refill it with these refill packs. And I guess that's kind of how the savings over the amount of time, you just be saving more on each refill rather than buying each new carbon filter.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a couple of other things. There's like a funnel. There's this really nice scooper. Oh yeah, did you get the scooper out? It's really nice quality. I don't even use it. It's actually quicker. Yeah, I use that for gardening now.
No doubt. It feels like I could be scooping like coffee into the grinder with this type of quality of a product. Like, guys, this isn't plastic. That's full on, that's quality. And they never cease to amaze me, AC Infinity, with the quality, the details that they put into the small things like this, rather than just having no scoop or some type of plastic scoop. You got something beautiful, the little hook to hang it on the wall. And I'm sure a lot of us, getting these packs are going to be using this for other things, whether it's gardening like yourself, or I might be grabbing one for the coffee. And they also had in the ratchets, or the hangers, which is sick. Can never have enough of these. But it's an interesting move into this transition. Is there any difference on the actual design? Because one of the other graphics I seen was like a little tubular type charcoal, and then one that was kind of like more porous and kind of active. Is there any difference in the granular charcoal that they're using in these filters, or I guess in general and everything that AC uses for the charcoal?
I asked them about that. The granular ones are supposedly better than the pellets, although the pellets are a little bit more clean. It's something I looked, because they also sell both types for the aquarium market. When I took a look, when I started buying activated carbon to refill for my own carbon filters, 2 years ago, I was going to switch to the pellets, but then based off the research, it looked like the pellets don't last as long. They're a little bit cheaper, and they're also, because they're sort of compressed together, it's sort of the dust, they compress it together into pellets. It's cleaner, but then it just doesn't last as long. I'm sure you can refill this with that as well, so you always have the option. You don't have to buy what is it? I have a bag on me right now, like the AC Infinity. There's this made in Australia. It says Australian. I don't know the difference between Australian carbon and the ones made here, but then it seems premium. So you can fill it with anything. That's the best part. Oh, you're opening it now. So try it. So if you...
Man, you got me enticed as we're talking about. I was like, how can I just let this sit here in the bag? I mean, this is technically the first, unboxing video we're doing on the channel. How are we not going to open this up with you guys on this interview? So there it is. It's not nearly as dirty as I thought.
No, it's not.
Right? I thought I was going to be like covered in charcoal, but you're not. It's actually quite clean, nifty, and looking slick, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, you just hold the bottom, and then you sort of put your hand around here. I don't know if you can see that, and then just twist.
Wow. Okay.
And that's it. And then you can twist the whole top off. It's not going to spill. Yeah, no tools. There's absolutely no tools.
I'm really glad we're doing this.
It's not going to spill. Yeah, it's not going to spill. You could take the top, and then from there, there's a rubber gasket. Or
yeah,
the threads are in the inside of it, and then you could also unscrew the bottom if you wanted it.
Gasket here, hey, like this nice cushiony. This is what's giving us the seal.
Yeah, that's what's giving you the seal, holding it in place. So that way, if you flip it upside down, you can remove the bottom cap as well, and then you can swap the caps. Just both sides have that rubber seal.
No way. So I could also unscrew this. Okay,
yes.
Got you. So you know what? Now that we're this deep and in here together, give me the little walkthrough. So let's say we've been using this thing hardcore, and I think as Homegrown TV, we pushed our filters way past their due date. We've definitely getting aromas outside to the point where, honestly, if we look at all of our tents right now, I don't have filters on them, because it's been a low priority on shipping costs to get things to Colombia, to get filters. I'm like, okay, we're going to leave it at the, later on the list, as we got other gear, other things to ship in the country. And that's where this is going to be an amazing solution for me at the channel and get me back into the world of actually using carbon filters. And I'm going to do a before and after and ask my neighbor. Thank God, she's an amazing lady. She's absolutely beautiful. She's totally cool and down with the plant. But I've often wondered, I'm like, since I took the filters off, I wonder how much, the neighbors are getting these aromas over there. And because of this solution, now we're getting back into this. So I'm going to ask her for the before and after. So let's say I've used it for, hardcore the last little bit. It's time for a change.
It's really easy. There's like a little tab. There's a little tab. You just pull up the tab, and that's it. You have access to the carbon. You pour it out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's it.
This is it.
And then you have access to the carbon underneath.
And you guys are seeing it. Okay, legitimately, that's it. So we pull that off. Obviously, you can see from these areas where the carbon is, we'll get a little charcoal on our hands here, which is totally fine.
I don't recommend doing this indoors. It's going to get dusty. I've only done this outdoors, because the moment you pour it out, you're going to get some dust. And when you refill it, you're going to get some dust as well. But I
won't do that part here, but that would be the next step. So essentially, this part here would all just go into my compost, or this is trash. Essentially, we're throwing this out.
Yeah, you can biodegrade it, because depending on what the activated carbon was used for, you can or can't put it in soil. But I mean, this is just absorbing odors, which it's non-toxic. So you could just throw it. I threw it right into compost. There was no issues. And the craziest thing was that I wasn't sure would the compost create, cannabis smell, since that's what it absorbed, but it doesn't.
Right.
So yeah, so there's no issues just throwing it in the ground. I'm actually testing right now to see if I can mix it in with coco coir to grow with it. Just have it as something to substitute perlite with to provide more air pockets in the coco coir.
Dude, yeah, and actually a good moment to point this out. Anyone listening or watching this podcast right now here on YouTube, take a second and check out the content that Dan has on the channel on both hemp in a pot and weed in a pot. Amazing, cool stuff like that, from being someone who's been filling their own carbon filters years ago now to testing small closet grows and really cool, unique stuff on the channel, always diving for new info. I'll make sure we have all your channel stuff in the description below this video. So this right here, this is filled right to the brim, huh?
Yeah. You have to leave a little bit of gap for that. That fits right in. It's really nice. And what I do, instead of using the scooper, you can use the scooper and it's pretty fast, but you could just pour it straight into the funnel. And underneath it, it's just one compartment. From the top, it looks like there might be like multiple compartments, but then no, it just all fills into one. You pour it until it reaches the top of the funnel. You shake it a little bit to even it out inside, and you just pour again. And then once you're near the top, then, you fill in each individual slot a little bit and then put it on. It honestly takes under 5 minutes.
Dude,
pouring it out, it's like 30 seconds.
Like, the funnel is specifically designed for, obviously, this filter. And I would assume, is the 6-inch now also going to have a different funnel, different size? Or is the
No, they actually share that. They made the threading so you only need one funnel.
That's great. So that's perfect. And even though each kit's still going to come with them, we know how us gardeners are, bro, especially in certain moments of creativity. You might lose these little things here and there. So each one's going to come with them, but it's going to work in all the different filter sizes, or at least for sure right now, the 6-inch and the 4-inch.
Yeah. I don't have an 8-inch on me, but then you can see from the threading of the funnel, there's different tiers. And I think that's how they got the 6 and the 4 to both use the same funnel. Unreal,
bro. I'm so excited to start using carbon filters again here on the channel. And that really was easy enough to do for the first time ever live in front of you guys. I was like, yeah, we're going to do like a half unboxing, just open it up and look at it, but not unbag it. No, dude, we went full on. I'm not going to full on dump out the carbon, but this is sick. What an innovation, man.
Yeah, don't do it indoors. It's going to create this like black dust cloud.
It just cuts. It goes to a blooper. Like, we'll be back in 10 minutes. No, that's amazing. So then for closing it, the same thing. I just put in the rubber gasket in here. Where the tab, you seen
where the tab is, and then there's sort of holes on the 3. I think there's like 3 pins on the bottom that'll match up, and then when you push those in, everything will be flush, and then it'll be sealed. And you could technically turn it upside down. It shouldn't break apart.
That's amazing. And I'm sorry I cut you off earlier as well. When we were talking about the amount of time, you were saying that this right here, it says like this is 4 pounds. It says it's technically 1 refill. But were you saying that you're experimenting on making that last a little bit longer? Or?
Oh, I'm not experimenting on it. I just, when I refill it, it's only taking about 2.5 pounds to refill. So then I have I have a bag on me. It feels like about a pound and a half left after the refill. So then, you're getting significantly more than what's stated on the back of the bag for both the 4 and 6. So it's kind of nice. You just get a little extra.
So after a few refills, and you would probably have a few excess on a few of these refills that you'd be able to do a whole nother refill in itself, basically.
Yeah, if that's the case, because they have like the 8-16 pound, I only have the 4 and 6-8 on me. But then, if you buy the larger ones, you're going to get more than what's stated. Gotcha. So it's even cheaper than. They had that graphic on their website, but I couldn't 100% understand each refill, what refill bag they were using. But I'm sure we'll know tomorrow based on pricing. No matter what, with the unit, it's already significantly cheaper. When you start refilling, it's basically going to be almost free to do this every 3-6 months.
No doubt. It's going to get a lot of people like myself who have probably started with carbon filters and they realize maybe later they start to use it maybe just in flower, right? Or start to use it maybe more sparingly because it is one of those things that you don't really calculate at the beginning when you're growing. You're like, okay, every so often I'm going to have to get and replace this filter. You kind of forget about that cost. So this, I think, is going to get a lot of us back into using those, at least those who are optional. So this side here is also, we can screw it off the bottom?
Yes.
Wow, there it is. Same thing, and you could also refill it from here.
Yeah, you can also refill it from the back as well.
Okay. And wow, so just to give you, I guess, the option, to be able to do it from each side, but you don't have to do both. It's going to refill the whole thing if you do it from one of those sides.
Yeah. So they both, it's the same compartment from either side, and then that's it. And then when you tighten both sides, then the hanging hooks, they'll match, and that's how you know that it's properly tightened. Honestly, it feels like it's almost too tight. Yeah, there you go. So you tighten both sides. That's how you know. It's yeah, everything about it's pretty smart. I like that it comes with the ratchet hangers.
Yeah.
I don't think it did before, so that just makes it so much easier to remove. I hate the straps.
Yeah.
I hate working with
Oh
those.
my, yeah, right? It's like, and at the beginning, you don't really necessarily know how you're going to hang it up or where it's going to go. And I remember when they just made this improvement on adding these things in, I was like, what an amazing idea. I was like, heck yeah, get rid of those fabric straps. Now we can strap right on. And you're right, to send these in with a product like this, it's not something you really expect. But again, you can never have too many of these, and it sucks to get a product that needs it and you don't have it, or you got to use extra ones that you have, or you got to order something after. But as always, they over-delivered on the amount that they put in, I guess. They also threw in straps, and they gave you a nifty spoon, dude. A nifty scooper. That's sick. I know it's not the only thing that they launched. Again, we're recording this the day before launches. It is launching tomorrow. Technically today, if you're watching this the day of the video launch. I know that they also launched this right here. The 69 Pro Plus, right? This is also launched on the same day, is it not?
I haven't tested with that. So they never actually gave me they asked me if I needed 8 ports. I don't have anything that needs it. Yeah. So this is actually something I haven't seen yet. I've heard about it. It's just a 69 Pro with extra ports.
Yeah, I believe it looks like with 8 different ports. And I also haven't looked at it. We just got it in here as well, which is perfect timing because a few of my controllers are Bluetooth, and I'm starting to notice when I go out of the house, I'm like, be sick to have Wi-Fi on these to be able to check it all the time. And so let's just take a look at it right out of the box. I don't know if there's any other differences, and I was hoping to see if maybe if you had any experience with it, but my assumption is it's just the same as the old ones with more entries.
Yeah, that's what I was told. So then, I mean, when they asked, "Oh, you would need something like this? Do you want to try it out?" I asked, "Was there anything new about it?" It's like, no, it's 8 ports. It looks really different.
Yeah, it is thicker, and I feel like the screen is a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And it has them numbered on the back now as well, from 1 to 8, and then your temp. And we'll see if there's anything new inside the box. But I guess for guys like you and I that might have had the controllers before, especially if we had the Wi-Fi as the 69 Pro, we probably would have got extenders, or the adapters to be able to add more plugs in. And this seems like it's not so much an upgrade. Anyone who has 69 Pros or the Wi-Fi is not so much upgrading to these. It's probably more so for new people getting into a 69 for the first time. Does that sound fair or accurate?
I think it's more for power users, people who just have everything. They have it connected to a AC, a heater, a humidifier, dehumidifier, fan, inline fan, light. At a certain point, you do go past 4 ports. I've been able to sort of circumvent that by plugging in different ways. I also have their daisy chain adapters. So I've never found a need for more than 4. But then that's why I was told there were some people asking for it because you can plug these into the that plug outlet, the control plug outlets. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, like you use it for cloning or like the clone controller or different things like that as well, right? Like the little plug that you can control.
Yeah. So what they said was, well, there are some people that have a lot of setups, or they're doing it for 2 setups, or they're doing it for something completely different, and then a bunch of plug outlets to control different things like soil. So they'll set their timer to go to like a water pump that then waters and a lot of other things. So then they say 4 isn't enough. But then, my setups aren't that intricate.
And look at this. So this is also new. Remember the back flap was just like a full covered little plate. There's a little flap in here, but it comes with this. So it's like a little, 3M sticky that's going to hold all the cables. I don't know if this maybe you can throw on the wall if you wanted to, but I assume it would just fit right in there. And it looks like
that makes sense.
A little jelly system to kind of throw the cables in there. And then
you'll probably stick that right on the controller. I mean, right on the metal plate as well.
Right,
to help organize it.
Yeah, you're right. On the bottom part of the metal plate, you can have that, right?
Because my cables always crisscross when it's over there, so sometimes it's hard to tell which cable's which.
It's very true, right? It's nice to get that separation when they're leading in. And then this, I don't know if it's magnetic. That I know for sure. Just like bam. So this probably just slams right onto that right there. I don't know if this is a cable guard right here on the back, or if this was like to prop it up. But we'll be checking this over.
Prop it up. The 69 Pro has that as well. It's just no one uses it for their desk, right?
Right?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's there specifically for that.
Got you.
Oh, I need to ask for one now because that's way cooler than I thought it would be.
Right? I wasn't expecting at least this part. Like the small little changes they make on each version, on each product from the carbon filters, from the color, and then they add the straps in. Now they're doing refillable carbon filters. And now we got Controller 69 Pro Plus, I believe is the actual product name. We're going to get these installed into the garden and I guess do a more in-depth kind of review on it through our Seed to Harvest in the later months. But that's awesome, bro. Was there anything else that they launched or did? Because they're always on to crazy new stuff.
I can't talk about anything unless they tell me a review embargo date. But this one has been probably the one thing they released that I can't imagine everyone being able to use. It just makes so much sense financially to do something like this. You're saving so much cost. It's pretty much the only thing in your grow space that had to be replaced every couple of months. With the soil, you could probably compost it or turn it over. Fabric pots, you can use multiple grow cycles. Everything you can use for years except the carbon filter you had to throw away every couple of months. It never made sense. And this decreases the cost of a grow while also making it way less trash. Like there's just so much lower waste by being able to compost the activated carbon and reusing the shell. Right. So I really like this product. There's one more thing that they're coming out with similar to this, but I mean, yeah, when it happens, I'll talk with you again, I'm sure.
That's all I wanted to hear, and you guys just heard it. Obviously, I guess there's other stuff that being worked on, more stuff from AC Infinity. If they're doing this, and it was just like a few months ago, the Evo lights came out. Now this, so I can't even imagine what the heck else is going on behind the scenes over there on that. But I'm kind of curious, when you did this video, you said it was like 2-3 years ago, right? When you were experimenting how to refill a carbon filter?
Yeah.
What was the feedback like on that from your audience? And like how many people were already also thinking that and have maybe already implemented that like do-it-yourself kind of model, what AC has just solved? Like how was the feedback back then?
It was good. After I released it, the channel got removed from YouTube soon after, but then I did re-upload it. It's really good feedback for people that have seen it. Yeah. The problem is it's not that easy. So it's one of those things where people like watching other people do it, but then not as many people are willing to remove rivets. That's the hard part. You get a lot of sort of metal shrapnel when you have to use a drill bit to remove a rivet. And I mean, if you watch the video, it creates a lot of sort of like this little dust of metal all along the floor. So it's not a simple system. It's something where I was tired of buying new ones and tired of replacing new ones. And it didn't make sense. It honestly didn't make sense to have to throw away this like 20, 30 pound thing each time. God, if you had an 8-inch or a 10-inch carbon filter, that's like 50 pounds. It doesn't make sense. So
Yeah.
this is a much better solution. It's something where a long time ago when I was talking with AC Infinity, I was like, you know what? Why doesn't anyone do something like this? And they said, I don't know. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's
something like this came
unbelievable.
out.
I mean, so they were like, do you think they were already working on it when you brought that up, or do you think like they're literally listening to their testers as much and working with guys like yourself enough to be implementing products because of conversations like that?
I'm positive they're listening to feedback. I know
Right.
because a lot of things when they discuss to me is like, oh, we made this specifically because users have asked. Same with your 8 port. The 8 port, they said, hey, you want to test this? It's a 69 Pro, but there's 8 ports instead of 4. I didn't know it looks, actually, it makes sense why it's bigger. I don't know how you could fit 4 more, but then when I said, you know what, I don't think I need 8 ports. Why would someone need that? And their response was, well, we had a lot of customer feedback requesting it. So
Wow.
we know this is what the
Right.
community wants, and this is why we're developing it. So I know they're listening to customer feedback for pretty much everything. There's all these small tweaks a bunch of times where they'll ask, hey, we added these flaps to the grow tent to even like further circumvent light leak, or hey, we did this to this product for these
Right.
reasons, because it's constantly due to customer feedback, which is
Yeah.
really great from this company.
That's unbelievable, man. That's really cool. And it makes me and anyone listening to this kind of, encourage you guys to be, giving feedback consistently. The good, bad, right and wrong, all of it, whatever your opinion may be on using products. Throw it on videos like this, right? Throw it on their channel or on shows like the After Dark when we do these lives, because it's becoming more apparent to me the more, I hang out and have conversation with guys like yourself, or the more time I spend around and see the products launch, like they really are paying attention. And this is the first to market. Like, has anyone else done a refillable filter?
I've never seen it. That's the crazy thing.
Right.
AC Infinity isn't the only company I've talked with that makes carbon filters where I said, why aren't these refillable?
Right.
But no one else has made something like this before. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I released these on video. So there are these questions where, since we're a new industry, we have to take products from other industries to sort of fill in the gaps. So then, especially in my earlier videos, when I first started doing this, I started just creating things by hand. I mean, I like making sort of these small compact grow spaces. I made a bunch of space buckets. And then this was one of the things where I said, well, why can't we make something better for the community?
Hmm.
So yeah, there's a couple other things, but I think
I
one of them I'm testing a version of it that they actually created into a real product, so I can't say too much yet. Otherwise,
I
I think they'll
can't
get
wait
mad.
to hear more about that. And honestly, I'm so grateful for you not only taking the time to come out to speak to here to the Homegrow TV audience, but for what you do on your channel as a whole. I know when we did our first interview, we had a lot of comments, bro, with so much gratitude towards you, Dan. And I even love the abbreviations, because I didn't know, like hemp in a pot, or WID there, or WIP. There's already abbreviations, and the amount of love for you is amazing. Just when we did that interview, tell me a little bit about the video that you have on your channel live right now, guys. There's also a video on Dan's channel with reviewing, opening up, and testing. What are you doing on your channel here, where you show us obviously a lot more than what we just did here on this interview, so people can go check that out?
It's honestly pretty much the same thing. I just go over it step by step while actually showing it. That's pretty much the only difference. This product is so simple to use. I mean, it's effectively, you open it, you pour it out, you refill it, you put it back in your grow space.
Right.
But having something this simple is just it helps growing. It helps make it cheaper to use. It helps make it people getting into it.
Right.
Yeah, it
And the more video, the better. I don't know if you're like me in any way, but anytime I make a product decision or like a purchase decision on, especially my hobby or like what I'm doing of camera, whatever, I watch so many videos. I watch as much that I can on that product, people using it, people setting up. Even if it's the same video 10 times, I watch it from 10 different people. So I'll make sure I include the links down below in the description, guys, on Dan's video. And in general, what else do you have kind of in the future plans with the channel, the rest of the year? Any cool, exciting stuff that you're working on?
Yeah, I've been getting a lot into mushrooms lately, although I haven't
Right.
posted anything about that just because it's so much fun and we have all the equipment for it. I
Right.
mean, you have the humidifier, right? And basically, if you have the humidifier, you have a grow tent, you can grow mushrooms. It's
Right.
something that's a lot of fun to do.
That's
And then
sick.
just the whole industry as a whole has been improving the products they release. There's pretty much every company that makes these type of grow supplies have been catching up to what AC Infinity has created, which is
Hmm.
exactly what we want. We want competition. We want people to create these better automation tools to make it a lot easier for the
Exactly.
user to get into it. Because I mean, I know so many people that smoke, and maybe like 5% of them are willing to try growing. I show them
Right.
like, hey, no, it's this easy, and then they still think it's too much work because I have to show them, well, you have to know temperature, humidity, stuff like that. And
Right.
then when people get more into these sort of set it and forget it type things, where it just like every week it just guides you through it, that
Yeah.
helps so much. And
No
I
doubt.
think we're actually moving towards that. And I think AC Infinity, when they released the 69, it really changed a lot of companies' products that year or two down the line, where now I'm seeing other companies create these controllers that can then
Right.
plug multiple products into. And it's just really nice to see the evolution of the community. When I first started, I was using blurple lights and a mechanical timer and everything, and I had to go out buy temperature humidity probes that then I have to monitor on a constant basis. And now I could just look at an app, it has everything. That I can change it on the fly halfway around the world.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and there's cameras that I can view to see. Oh, look, everything looks fine. I almost never have to check my grow space except maybe once a week, once or twice a week.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I love where the industry is going towards, especially for
Yeah.
the home grower.
No doubt, man. I think yeah, I've always loved so much seeing the content on your channel when you do these out of the box things by making the small grows or like in a freaking desktop or whatever it may be. And I think you're right as far as like new people, it can be intimidating sometimes. And it's such a small percentage of people that actually consume compared to or medicate or whatever it might be compared to the ones that grow. And maybe it's those small tiny closet grows or these automated systems, right, that we're going to see a big jump over the next 5-10 years of more people growing their own medicine from home. And your channel is just so amazing at showing it and bringing it to a real world way of doing it, where I think sometimes on our channel we even sometimes get lost in going too big or too cinematic and too visual, when really breaking it down and simplifying to what it could be done. You do an amazing job over there, brother. I got a lot of respect for all the work that you put in.
No, I love what you guys are doing because my whole stick is to try and get people in. I don't really talk about anything advanced. I try to make it as simple as possible to say, hey,
Yep.
I don't know what I'm really doing, but look, even with all of these mistakes, and I purposefully make as many mistakes as I can while still getting a harvest, just to
Yeah.
show, look, you can fuck up this much. I can cuss, right? Yeah, you can
Yeah,
fuck
you're
up
good.
this much and still come out with, a couple ounces if you have a large enough space. Even with the small space like a 2x2, you can still pull 1-2 ounces, even like with all of these mistakes. So just go out and try it. And that's the whole point, because I was really scared too. And when I started doing it, there really wasn't any support for home growers. Back then, Prop 64 just passed in California. There wasn't, it was, if you were growing, you were doing it illegally. So, you go big or you go home. Like it was always the case. There was a lot of people gatekeeping
Right.
how to grow. So I ran through so many issues, and luckily, I documented everything. So then, once I got the hang of it, I started posting it just to try and help people like me. And I get a lot of emails from people that say like, hey, I never thought I could do it, and it's too expensive, and I need it for medication, or I spend this much on it, I can't afford it because taxes here are ridiculous for it. And I saw how easy it was for you to do it. So I took the plunge, I tried it, and it works great. And as long as I can draw in new people, that's all I want to do. And I don't want to go into, how to improve yields, improve everything else, because there's so many people that can do it better than me, like you guys. I just like experimenting with growing cardboard boxes, stuff like that. And then the stuff I make, it's good enough. I like it. Like, I feel like the quality's at a point where it's better than what I can get at dispensary. And yeah, I don't, and yeah, I'm not. There's plenty of people that are much more qualified than me to help them improve their yields and improve their terpenes and improve the science of growing. Right. So yeah, I like the niche I'm in.
Beautiful perspective, bro, and I think you nailed it in the sense because there's still so many more people to start this amazing passion, hobby, or necessity that it might be for growing your own from home. And please don't ever stop or let up on the gas on any of your content because I'm a big fan. I absolutely love it, brother. And I want to thank you again, man, for coming out and hanging out, talking about products. Hopefully at some point we can do one where we're not just out talking about products and new advancements, but maybe we're just a chill sesh at some point and maybe even ripping a doobie.
Yeah, definitely. I do a lot of edibles, but for me, it helps me relax, especially, yeah.
Maybe we do an edible podcast at some point, bro, and just shoot the shit.
We can.
Dan,
no, but...
Anything else you would love to share? Anything we didn't cover, or anything you want to share with the world?
Oh no, that's it. I might meet you in MJ BizCon in a couple of months. I heard you're flying out.
Yes, I'm officially booked, bro. I'm officially booked. I'm like becoming more of an adult where I know what I'm doing in a few months' time. Finally, like we're ready.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun over there. That's where you see sort of all the new innovations. All the companies come out and then they showcase, oh, this is what we're developing for the grow industry. It's mostly for commercial, but you'll see a lot of cool residential stuff. So I always like attending that. And it's a great way to talk with people in the industry and then see, oh, what are you guys working on? Anything you need tested, all that stuff.
Yeah. No doubt, man. No doubt. And yeah, it's got me really excited to be able to meet the community in person, right? Yourself, Joe, Highigan. I know everyone from the stash. There's a lot of awesome creators that I know are going to be there that get to meet for the first time. So for me, that's what's got me stoked. And anyone listening that is attending, throw down in the comments because, yeah, that'll be a good time to hang out.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome, Dan. Thank you so much. Much love. Thank you, everyone that is tuned in and listening. Throw down a like, a comment down below, and make sure you remember all Weed in a Pot, Hemp in a Pot, Dan's links and information is down in the description. Obviously, the links for the badass new toy launched by AC Infinity is down there with your discount codes and all the info. We'll see you guys next week on Homegrow TV.